Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today we are talking Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma, which is almost out at the time of this recording. And I wanted to give my first thoughts, first impressions on what I've played, because I actually got to play an early demo of this game over at PAX East. So I recently went to PAX East. If you didn't know, PAX East, gaming convention, you could play demos, you can talk with devs and things like that. And Marvelous actually had a booth showcasing upcoming games, Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma being one of them. I actually recently made a video on my thoughts and impressions of the upcoming Story of Seasons, if you want to check that out. But today we're talking Guardians of Azuma, and from this point on, I'll just call it Rune Factory because it's a long name. So just to give you a little bit of information, there were two different demos that you could play. The first demo being a farming / town building demo, where you could kind of like play with like the farming mechanics, the town building, talk with NPCs and stuff like that, like more of the life sim stuff. And then there was another demo that focused on combat. I played the farming and town building one. I do have opinions on the other one though, because I was watching some other people and I've since seen footage and heard people's opinions. So I do want to talk about that part. But let's get into the demo that I played. Oh, by the way, last thing, we played on very high-end PCs with Xbox controllers. So my experience will be in line with the PS5 version, Switch 2 version, PC version. So I definitely played on a higher build. I also have thoughts about the Switch version. We'll get into that. Let's talk about it. So yeah, this demo started off on a farm in the game, and I believe my character was like level 19 or something like that. Like I was definitely in the story, which was good because I had all the tools and some items that I needed to kind of play around with the game. I will say something about Rune Factory that is different from like something like Story of Seasons is that this is more of an advanced RPG farming game. So I will say, even though I kind of knew what was going on, I definitely needed help from the people at Marvelous who were working at the booth. If it wasn't for them, I probably would have figured it out, but there's just a lot going on. There's a lot of menus, there's a lot of sub-menus. Almost to a fault, I think that there's like maybe a little too much going on, but Rune Factory as a whole, as a series, is very good about tutorials and things like that. So I think if you are looking to pick up this game, just know that it is advanced, but there will be tutorials. Like you'll never go into it being like, what am I doing? But I will say, being thrusted into this demo, so far into a save file, it was a little overwhelming, just to put that out there. But yeah, I mean, I did very basic things. Like the first thing that I did was farming. So I actually had to craft different like soil tiles or field tiles, I think they called it. And I crafted 10 of those. The guy helped me with that menu because I was a little overwhelmed. But I did craft those soil tiles, and then I was able to plant crops and I was able to water them. And all of this was very easy. Once I knew what menus to go in, I feel like this was very seamless. So that was kind of cool. So it's kind of different because you can't just like start farming. You have to like craft these soil tiles, then put your crops in, water them. It's a little more of a process than what I'm used to. The next thing I did was play around with water tiles. So when you're building in this game, it's basically built on a grid, which is cool. I actually like that because you're building on a grid, and then when you're not building, the land is like organic and stuff. You don't see the grid while you're playing. But I was also able to make some water tiles and things like that. One of the cooler things about this area, so I was in this farm area, but it's also the town of this game. The NPCs will like naturally do work in your town, which I thought was cool. So like you could, place a bunch of crop and field tiles, and then some of the NPCs will actually start farming like all by themselves, or the NPCs will water your plants. So there's a little bit of automation there, and I really like that because there's a lot already going on in this game, so it's nice to have a little bit of help. Another thing I did in the tutorial was craft a building. So they had me craft a wood shop. So I basically crafted that. It was really cool because the camera actually changes from so you're in like a third person view when you're playing this game, but you can actually change the camera so it does kind of like an overhead thing. And that was very helpful, especially when placing something bigger like this building. So I placed the wood shop, and then I actually was able to assign one of the NPC villagers that were living in my town to work at this shop. So I crafted the building, assigned a villager to work there, and then I got out of that menu and I was able to purchase things right away from that place. So yeah, that's one of the things about this game that kind of differs from some of the other Rune Factory games, is you're literally crafting and creating a town, which feels very immersive to me. Like, not only can you farm, you can make buildings, you can kind of like forge this town into like whatever you want. So I thought that was really cool. Now, in terms of like the graphics and performance, again, I was playing on the highest of high-end PCs. So I wasn't anticipating anything, no frame drops or anything like that. I will say that this game, unlike Story of Seasons, because Story of Seasons and this game, they're both coming out on older platforms too. So they're both coming out on Switch. I would highly recommend playing this on a next gen console. I feel like there's a lot going on with this game, and I have seen Switch footage already of this game, and it just doesn't do it justice. I feel like this game, I would definitely recommend playing on a Switch 2 on a PC if you can. If you only have a Switch, I think it'll still be fine, but there's just so many moving pieces and moving parts. This is an open world. It seems very demanding, where I think if you are playing it on a Switch, you're kind of doing yourself a disservice. So this is one that I will definitely be picking up on Switch 2. And this comes out right when the Switch 2 comes out. It comes out on launch day, which is really cool. But yeah, the world was super nice. I really like the art style in this game. The NPCs were cool. I got to talk with some of them. There is a relationship system in this game. So yeah, I was able to talk to some of the NPCs and start like little fetch quests. And then once I completed those, even in this short time, I was able to like raise my relationships with these NPCs. So yeah, there seems to be just a lot going on. The world is really nice, like I've been saying before. There are a bunch of different tools too. Like there's this really fun one to use. It's an umbrella that you can also use as a glider. So at the very end of my demo, I actually was trying to get up to like the highest place on the map and then jump off of it and kind of glide down Mary Poppins style. And yeah, it's very fun. Like everything works. Everything works good. The world seems very interesting, and I'm very excited to explore more of it. Now, like I was saying before, I didn't get to try out the combat, which was kind of a bummer. The lines, by the way, at PAX East are super long. I waited like, I don't know, I think it was like an hour and a half for this one to play it. So keep that in mind. You were able to, change to the weapons though, even on the farm, which was cool. So I pulled out the bow and I kind of like played around with that. The bow and the sword as well. Like everything feels very, very good. I wanted to include some footage of the combat in this video because combat in Rune Factory is like such a big part of the game. So if you're expecting just a cozy little farm game, this might not be it for you. But yeah, there's a significant amount of combat. And from what I've seen from the people playing the demos, because like everyone was kind of in the same area playing the demos, the combat looks great. The combat looks very seamless, very, very fun. Kind of reminds me, if you guys have ever played Monster Hunter, it has like a very Monster Hunter vibe to it, which some people may like that, some people may not. Also, it's very similar to Rune Factory 5 as well, which I wasn't too high on, but the combat in that game was at least pretty good. So yeah, I wasn't able to test the combat, but yeah, it looks really good. The monsters look good. The world which you're kind of fighting in is, it's great. Like it seemed very seamless, and I wish I could have played it myself, but from what I've seen from it, it looks good. So yeah, what are my full thoughts on Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma? I think, and I'm gonna go bold here, I feel like this is one of the must-play games, at least for Switch 2. Do what you want on other consoles. You might want to wait for a sale because, again, $70 games. But this looks like it scratches a lot of the itches that I feel like players like. It scratches the Breath of the Wild itch with the exploration and the combat. It has your farming. It has your relationships. It has town building and everything. Like, this game kind of has it all. Like, Rune Factory has always been a very ambitious series. And I feel like this game really has it on lock. Like, I feel like they went for everything and they kind of accomplished it. And again, I only played 15 minutes and I was watching probably about an hour of people playing demos in front of me, but I'm very impressed with this one. This one to me is a must buy. I feel from what the little bit that I played, it feels like a must buy. The controls were great. Controller support, very, very good. And I think my only concerns here is how complicated things kind of were. But you also gotta like put this in mind. Like, this is a game I've never played before. The controls, although I played some of the other Rune Factory games, the controls were a little foreign to me. The menus, like, I don't know anything about this game. So I'm starting on a file that is, I don't know, 20 hours in, and they're just putting me in there and being like, hey, have fun with the game. So I will say that that's my only concern, that things seem a little overwhelming. My other concern is the Switch performance, which I can't comment on directly, but from the footage that I've seen online, and you can even look up some Switch footage online on YouTube, I'm a little concerned about that port. So I strongly recommend getting it on some of the next gen consoles. And yeah, it is a little overcomplicated, but Rune Factory is really good at tutorials. So that's kind of what I have to say. Very impressed. I feel like between this and Story of Seasons, I was a little more impressed with this just because I see longevity here. I see a meaty story. I see a lot of things that are going to keep me going, whereas Story of Seasons is very linear. You know, you have your farming, you have your market stuff, but Rune Factory, you have so much more going on. So yeah, this one I think should be a day one pickup for anyone interested. Just play it on some better hardware. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you very soon with a stream of Rune Factory and possibly a first look and review. So definitely subscribe for more. See you in the next one.